Yeah. Like I was saying, yo, I did that video about an hour and a half ago, man. It still ain't uploaded yet. But anyway, the first video I'll talk about. Like I was saying, man, you're running a simulation. You're not thinking. You know what I'm saying? In fact, that's why they have, like, you see how you got like certain jobs, like this job right here is a simulation. This job that I'm doing right here is a simulation. You know what I'm saying? All jobs is simulations. That's why they have rules. You know what I'm saying? Rules is a code or a subtle term to describe a code that has to do with a series of events that's meshed together, which all falls up under the umbrella of a code. There's a code. In other words, how you're supposed to act out certain things. That's what codes do. Codes got to do with you acting out a certain level of animation, type of animation, a sequence. You know, so when it was saying in the movie Matrix that this is a simulated reality, is basically telling you that it's all being governed by a program. It's not real. Wherever you see a simulation, or wherever a simulation exists, one or two things is why it exists. Either there has been an invasion and the host, there has been an invasion by way of a host being hacked, and codes has been downloaded, installed, you know what I'm saying, into that host, and they animating out those simulations, or that body itself is a hybrid and is running the simulation. Like when you look at cell phones, they run simulations. Simulation is another word for a code, a hybrid personality, a hybrid consciousness. You know what I mean? So the jobs that we have is a simulation. It has a beginning and it has an end. Anything that is a hybrid, it's a simulation. Anything that has a beginning and has an end is a simulation. That's when the code began and it has an end code. But they do things to like prolong the code. Damn, cuz you how the Matrix do? They do things like to prolong the code by way of updates. They keep doing updates to make it look as if some form of natural evolution is taken into effect, when in actuality it's all hybrid. You gotta know, as I stated before in past videos, what we could do naturally, they could do artificially. What we do naturally, they do artificially. So you gotta know that the simulation is an artificial genetic code where you have a series of hybrids that program more hybrids. Like you would have hybrids that vibrate on a higher frequency than the lower hybrids, so they would program the lower hybrids, and the lower hybrids, the higher hybrids towards the lower hybrids would be their gods. Like the higher hybrids would be the lower hybrids' gods. So they look for them, the higher hybrids, who creates the program, create the curriculums, create society. You know, your Pentagon is the processor. Your Pentagon is the processor on the motherboard, aka Mother Earth. That's why when you look at When they show you Earth, if you look at the images, and I ain't gonna get into the images, but when they show you the images of Earth, nighttime, and you're looking at it from a helicopter view, it looks like a motherboard. It looks like a motherboard that's fully powered up. All the lights that you see in the buildings and the cars and all that, that's what a motherboard looks like when it's on. You see different electronic signals that's flowing through the motherboard. But the Pentagon would be the processor, so you know they get all the commands, the codes, the simulations from the Pentagon, and they push it out to the lower hybrids, which would be the humans, because you know the humans is they a simulated race. They are a biological race that was meant to run simulations. That's it. Because they part of the Matrix. The Matrix is a simulation. So you got to have a life force to support the simulation. So they are meant to run simulations. That's what the ego is. I stated before, the ego is an artificial mind. Your so-called 7 deadly sins, you know, your lust, greed, jealousy, envy, hate, all that stuff that they talking about, those are artificial senses. Those are artificial senses. The ego would be an artificial mind or brain. And you see how the mind or the brain got senses attached to it? Well, the ego have artificial senses. It just comes in the form of lust, hate, you know what I'm saying? Your love, jealousy. It all has to do with feeling, basically. All the senses that's in relation to feeling is artificial. That would be linked to the ego. That's part of the simulation. But then again, you have the real senses now, which all have to do with thinking, analyzing. Because when you run in a simulation, you're not thinking. You're feeling. When you run simulations, you're feeling. Oh, let me eat this McDonald's Big Mac because it tastes good. You're feeling. You're not thinking. Oh, let me smoke this blunt because it makes me feel good. You're not thinking. You're feeling. You know what I'm saying? Let me eat this ice cream. Let me go holler at Shorty because she got the fat butt. You know what I mean? You're feeling. You're running a simulation. Every time you are doing things in regards to just feeling, you're running a simulation. That's how you know you've been hacked. You downloaded the software of the Matrix and you're running a simulation. You now activated the false mind, which would be the ego, has the lower senses, or in regards to feeling. Higher senses, you don't feel. Higher senses, you only think. You know what I mean? So yeah, they look for the you know, the higher gods, you know, the higher part of the simulation. Because just like you have in a computer, you would have certain components that exist on a motherboard that's meant to carry out commands and tasks and tell the other minute circuitries to carry it out. In fact, they even have in the computer, they even have the terms master and slave. When you look at the hard drives, they have a master drive and then they have a slave drive. It's really called that. It's really called a master, and there's another one that's called a slave. And the master sends the commands to the slave, and then the slave carry it out. But that's the same way how this planet is set up. You know what I'm saying? You have a bunch of slaves, which would be the humans, that's just meant to carry out the simulation of the masters, which is those who run the planet, which is hybrids themselves. But they supplied a series of codes for the simulation, even though they part of the simulation them damn selves. There's levels to it, basically. So that's why you will see they always pushing feelings. They always pushing the feeling. The feeling behind every holiday, behind every event, behind everything that ever happens on this mundane dimension that comes on TV, that they push, all got to do with feeling. Everything got to do with feeling. It has to do with keeping you trapped in the realm of feeling, because to feel is to run a simulation. Why? Because souls don't feel. You need a body, you need flesh, you need matter to feel. Matter is a simulation. It's a program. When you see them doing measurements, that's not measurements that they're doing. That is a code. The same way how you put numbers and codes into a computer when you create a program. Well, that's what they're doing it. It's just being done on a more sophisticated level. They put in codes in to the motherboard, aka Earth. Measure this 50 feet. That's a code. That's not a length. That's a code. It's different levels of codings. The master builders. The height, no matter how high it is. You know what I'm saying? It's all got to do with codes, because numbers is a vibration. Codes is a vibration. Numbers ain't got no value. That's the ego. That's the making you feel. You know what I mean? That's running the simulation. But the reality is, numbers, when you think what the numbers are, you see that it is a vibration. It's a code, which is used to create on many different levels, many vibrations, because vibrations bring bodies into existence. When you having sex with your queen, or you having sex with your mate, that's a vibration, friction, vibration, creating the body. You know what I'm saying? Bringing the life forth. Well, that's what they do with the when they building a building. They bringing the life forth. It might be a hybrid life, but it's still alive. It's still vibrating, vibrated into existence. You know what I mean? The simulation. Many ways you could break it down. There's many ways you should be able to break it down. If you can't break it down, then that means that you just feeling. You ain't thinking. You ain't analyzing. You're fully intertwined with the matter, which is the simulation. You're fully lost in the matrix, the code of the matrix. It all has to do with making you feel. In order for Neo to become Neo, he had to stop feeling. But you know, they code it funny sometimes. Make him try to twist it up. But in order for him to jump over to do that damn jump building, he had to, you know what I'm saying? The only reason why he failed that, because he was feeling. That's why Morpheus is like, free your mind. And you gotta know that if he's telling you to free your mind, that means your mind is in a prison. So if he's telling Neo to free his mind, what would be the prison that his mind is in? The flesh. His mind was trapped in the flesh. His mind was trapped in matter. His mind was trapped in the limitations. His mind was trapped in feeling. But when you had to free your mind, you had to what? Think outside the box. Think outside the matrix. Stop subscribing to how the simulation dictates for you to how to subscribe. Well, I know if I jump off this building, I'm going to fall down and die. You know what I'm saying? That's how, and I'm not telling anybody to go jump off no building. But I'm just making an example. You know what I'm saying? Based on a movie. That you're programmed to see that. You're programmed to see death. There is no death. That's part of the simulation. You know what I mean? We running simulations and taking it as if it's authentic. Hold on for a second, man. We're taking it as if it's authentic, when in actuality it's just a series of codes. And yes, you're going to have codes that support the codes, because they have to make it appear real. They will tell you something about that dinosaurs exist, and then show you dinosaur bones in the damn museum. So you be like, man, dinosaurs is real. Look at the bones. That ain't no difference. That ain't no different than saying, well, you know, This man Jesus was real because they got statues of him all over the damn place. Know what I mean? Like I stated before, if you want to see if dinosaurs is real, remote view it. If you want to find out anything, remote view it. Remote view. Because research is a hybrid way of remote viewing. It's one hybrid way of remote viewing. See, the God race ain't even supposed to be about the research. We're supposed to be about the review. The hell with the research. What the freak we searching for? The hell we looking for clues for? We supposed to be reviewing it. Well, let's go back and remote review. Let's go review this. You know what I'm saying? Let's fuse our consciousness in this so-called timeline that they claim exists, and let's fuse it into some beings that existed back then. You know what I'm saying? And let's just use their body as a window to see what's going on. Yes, you could do that. But in regards to the Matrix simulated code, that's blasphemy. That's not even possible. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, NASA got satellites in space sending images to your television screen, which is an artificial way of remote viewing. They doing it artificially, but they will tell you in the simulation that you can't do it authentically. Hell yeah, you could do it authentically, son. I did it before. I did it plenty of times. Plenty of times. In fact, son, let's just say that there was this time that I did it, man. I couldn't even understand what I was looking at because I was using. That's why I made that video saying that you're not really supposed to use mundane examples to express things that exist outside this matrix, because I was looking at certain things and it was like I was trying to use things that's familiar with this dimension in order to like understand what the hell I was looking at. I was like, man, what the freak is this? You know, so I'm just looking at it. Just looking at it. Just looking. You know what I mean? And the signal was just coming in strong. I'm just looking. Then I was just looking at. Then it started showing me some other images that was familiar. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, anyway, man. Remote view, man. Remote view. You need energy to do that. You need energy to do everything. But yeah, the simulation. You know what I mean? Are you running a simulation? Are you on biobot mode? Are you in matrix mode? There's a lot of people in matrix mode, man. And when I'm saying this, I'm not, because you know some people will hear this and they be like, man, then what the hell are we supposed to do? You're supposed to know. You're supposed to be aware. You know, you're supposed to be like you will hear people in it, like they pushing the consciousness, the conscious. They say that we aware. Those people ain't aware. They ain't aware of a damn thing. Because in order for you to be aware, you have to know. How you conscious and you a believer? That's an oxymoron. Because if conscious means that you are aware, then if you are aware, then that means you know. So if you know, why you believe? Believing and knowing is not the same thing. They're the exact opposite. The exact opposite. When you believe in things you don't know, that's why you say you believe. Like if I'm walking down the street right now and I'll be like, yo fam, where JJ went? Yo, I believe he went to the store. I believe he went this way. That means you're unsure. You know what I'm saying? And you be like, yo, I believe he went up this block. So I'm like, damn. So that's like you don't really know. So should I walk up that block to go see him or should I not? You don't know. So that's why you say you believe. You know what I'm saying? But if you be like, yo, fam, I know he went up this way. I'd be like, yo, you sure? Yeah, I know he ran up this way. Okay, Now we got some concrete evidence because you know. When you hear these people talking about, I believe this, I believe this, I believe that, they just basically telling you that they don't know, man. They running a simulation. To believe is to run a simulation. Because the simulation is coded to keep you from knowing. When you run the simulation, you're not thinking. In order for you to know, you have to think. Simple. So when you run in a simulation, the simulated code of the matrix, you will always use words like believe. Because the simulation, the code of the simulation is programmed to keep you from knowing. It's programmed to keep you in that realm of being ignorant. Believing is programmed to keep you feeling. When you feel, you're not thinking. When you're not thinking, you believing. When you believing, you don't know. It's a series of codes that people are simulating. And as I stated before, is a lot of agents for the beast on this planet, because a lot of them is not even real. They're not even real. Don't think that objects is real. See, we have also been trained to see this is real. Like, we look at this pole right here, we like, yo, that pole is real. This hydrant right here is real. You know what I'm saying? This street sign is real. Concrete real. Even this tree, this fake tree. You know what I'm saying? We have been programmed to see that as real. We have been programmed to see matter as real. Matter is not real. Matter is not real. The energy light is real. Matter is a byproduct of light. So we have been running a simulated code that matter is real. So now when we see people, you know, matter, we assume that they real. Well, you know, that's real people right there. No, they ain't real. They fake. They are an illusion. That's how powerful the word illusion is. As I stated before in past videos, I don't think people understand how powerful that word illusion is, man. Like, everything down here is, yo, the only thing real down here is the carbonated beings, period. The last souls. We the last souls on the damn planet, on the damn moon, that still ain't get it. We still didn't get it. Or everybody else left this mother dudder. Everybody else left. All on the sun, sending message. The only reason why the sun is sending light to this damn planet is to wake up the last souls. The only reason. We keep getting left back in the damn school known as Earth. Because the damn holographic simulated things, they know that if we wake up, it's lights out. It's back to the lunar realm. No more sunlight. No more matter. The bridge will be raised. The bridge will be raised. They will no longer be able to cross over. Melanin will be insufficient. And they would not be able to exist in no hybrid bodies no more. Therefore, they will be trapped in the lunar dimension. And they know this. You know what I'm saying? The hell with them going to Mars. They going to Mars, they going to Jupiter, they go to Uranus. It's life on all those planets. But who cares about that? That's another part of the matrix. The matrix exists throughout this whole solar system. Every fake planet that they told you that's a planet, from Mercury all the way down to Pluto, those are all extensions of the matrix. Those are different dimensions of the matrix. It's many dimensions within the matrix. All those moons that's assigned to these moons that they call planets is part of the matrix. The only thing that is real in this whole solar system is the sun. That's the real planet. Everything else is fake. It's artificial. It was created. You know what I'm saying? So we have been trained to see things like, you know, this real, you know, this big old boat over here. We like, that boat real. You know what I'm saying? The water's real. You know, the grass real. You know what I'm saying? this little highway that we on right now, you know, this little van over here, we have been trained to see all that is real, but that's not real. That's part of the